Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another beautiful presentation for the Hypnosis Masters Summit. I'm very, very excited to have with us right now Liza Boubari, who is a clinical hypnotherapist. She's been doing hypnosis and hypnotherapy for the past 22 years. In 1999, she founded HealWithin Incorporated, a healing center for mind-body therapy, and she has been growing ever since. She's actually a motivational speaker, an author, and she's also a certified stress management counselor and anger management and domestic abuse consultant. In 2018, she founded HealWithin International, and she actually recently, just now, launched her own TV show on Liza.tv. She's been serving on the most prestigious boards in her field, like the executive board of the American Council of Examiners, and today she is well known for her Heal Talk Tuesdays with Liza, a live interactive healing and empowering talk on Facebook. So everybody, let's say welcome and thank you so much for being here with us today, Liza.
Thank you so much, Eugen. Thank you for the invitation. And this is absolutely wonderful to be here with you and everyone.
Beautiful, beautiful. So your program and your brand and the whole of you is all about Heal Within. So please let us know how, what is Heal Within and how is this tying in together with hypnosis?
Great question. I call myself, I'm an expert in helping you heal from within. This came about because over 20 years ago, I went through my own transformation and healing, and it was through hypnotherapy. So long before, I was an assistant to an attorney and working in the law firm for over 9 years as a paralegal, had just gone through the divorce and everything. And one thing I didn't realize, that there was a lot of stress in my life and stress in my body, but how I coped with the stress was by suppressing it and just ignoring it. So in a way, there was a lot of ailment in my body from having carpal tunnel. My knee had created water and everything. And on top of everything, when I went to the gynecologist because of I had pain, he told me that it was time for me to schedule it because he felt my body was growing another ovarian cyst. Well, lo and behold, I had already had 2 ovarian cyst surgeries prior to that. And one of them was at that point 9.2 centimeters, which is the size of a grapefruit. The second time I had surgery 2 years later, it was 8.7 centimeters, which is the size of an apple. So this one was already growing.
You don't play small, right?
What?
You don't play small.
No, we don't. So what happened was, because of my pain and stress and everything in my life, when he told me we're going to go for a third surgery, I went back to the law firm and I was not doing good emotionally. So the HR director found out about it and she said, "What's going on?" When I told her about it, she said, "You know what?" She picked up the phone, made an appointment, sent me to a block away to an acupuncturist. And it was on the second session, I did 2 days in a row with the acupuncturist. The second day, as I was just about to leave, he calls me into his office and says, "Have a seat." Gives me a sheet of paper and says, "Did you know that hypnotherapy can help with ovarian cysts?" I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Now we know. But at that time, it was like, this is exactly what I said. I said, what does up there have to do with down there? And that's exactly what was the beginning of the discovery of my journey to be where I am. Because I knew of a hypnotherapist, another city very close to here. Through my networking and everything, I made a phone call, and in less than 6 sessions of deep work of hypnosis, is exactly what we did. We had the dialogue, we did creative writing, we did the deep hypnosis. And through that, I had, how we talk about our Gestalt therapy in hypnosis. That's exactly what I did. Talking to my ovaries, talking to the cyst and everything, finding what was the causation. And when I healed it, I believe I healed it, that I asked it to go away, and it did. I went back to the gynecologist and he could not detect it. There was, we did an ultrasound, could not detect it. And since then, I have to knock on wood and say I haven't had any feminine problems either. So that was what triggered it. And I called it I Healed Within, and thus the name of my company.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, yeah, tell us how to heal within. Like we are in this beautiful summit where everybody is sharing their knowledge, their methods, their practices, their way of working. So, how can we, apply the heal within? Is there like a process, a step? It's a method. It's how can we make this work? Because I've personally heard many times of the type of sessions you've done with the hypnotherapist where you communicate with the issue, you write letters, but I've never had like a clear process in this respect. So yeah, that's my question.
Okay, great question. Well, I created the 3E method, my signature 3E method, and everything I do is in threes. So what that is, I believe we have to evoke what was, embrace what is, so that we can evolve to what will be. And what does that mean? It means, first and foremost, any client that I see, I take them through this process. We need to find, it would behoove us for us to recognize where this comes from. So in hypnosis, when whatever it is that we do is we take our clients through a process of relaxation, either rapid induction or progressive induction, take them to a state of calm and deep state of relaxation. Why? Because when we do that, we bypass the critical, analyzing, judging, reasoning aspect of us in order to drop into the subconscious mind, where it stores and has all the information from day one, from our birth until this very moment. So the subconscious being the memory bank that has all that information and everything, what we do is take the client to that state, and it could be a year ago, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, 30 years ago, and find that trigger or the time and a place when this emotion was connected to either a habit, a behavior, or a problem and a challenge. Once we get to that, we evoke it, we bring it to light. It's as if putting a flashlight so that they can see it and recognize it and acknowledge it. Because until the time we have not acknowledged, not necessarily the culprit, but the beginning of it, the reason of it, the why of it. We don't need to know why, but it's good to acknowledge it and understand this is how it started. Once we get there, now I get it. This is how it happened. So we work on that, clear every aspect of it, so we can come to embracing the reality where you are right now, where you are feeling the challenges or the habits, the good, the bad, the right, the wrong. It doesn't matter. Embrace the reality. If you are overweight, embrace every aspect of your body. If you are a gamer, an alcoholic, it doesn't matter what the habit or behavior, the negative, which is no longer serving you, because that's why people come to a hypnotherapist. There is a problem. We want to help them become better and healthier. That's why my clients are clients. They are not patients. I don't believe anyone is sick. I believe everyone comes here to get healthier and better. So once we embrace every aspect of who we are and what we have done and why we did what we do, that's when we can evolve and peel away, let go, clear that entire thing. And it's not about overcoming it. It's truly making a change. And that's when change happens and we can evolve.
So how do you work with people? Because you're talking about embracing. And I'm going to give you a kind of like a, tough example, but let's say a woman comes in and she's been raped and you ask her to embrace that. How can she do that? Because that's exactly what she's trying to run away from.
Well, what is she running away from? I specialize in women's wellness, by the way. My specialty is working with women. I'm also a domestic abuse consultant. So when you come up with, it's not a tough question, it's a very good question.
Okay, yeah.
So she comes in here and says, I've been raped. Okay, that is the reality. It happened.
But every time I think about it, I start crying and it hurts and I get this image again in my head and I feel the pain again.
You cannot feel the pain. There is no way we can feel the same pain. We see it, we know it, and the body may react, but we cannot feel exactly the same pain. It's a different pain. It's an emotional pain. It's a mental pain, but it's not the same pain. So because it's not happening right here, right now, it is not a reality. Although the subconscious does not know reality from imagination, but even in the subconscious, when we are as clinicians, as clinical hypnotherapists, our profession, the number one thing is to hold space for the client. If you are there to work with, let's call it issues.
Yeah.
Issues like this that are so traumatic, then we must also be trained to hold space for them. So even if they go to a place that they feel trauma is happening at that moment, that physically they become hyperventilating, they can't breathe, they feel suffocating and everything that is happening at that very moment, and I can't do it, that's when we have to become what? Paternal and say, you are safe. You are here with me. Everything that you see and hear and feel is nothing but your mind sharing the information so we know what is happening. So in order for us to work with the trauma, what is it that we do? We validate them and yet we safeguard them. By doing this in a state of relaxation, they feel, okay. That's when a hypnotherapist having other tools like tapping, that's when we ground them. That's when the grounding comes in. It's knowing when to elevate it, escalate, or when to help your clients ground. That's when we, if hopefully if it is not Zoom, if that client is in person, you touch their feet, their leg or something very gently, or even placing their hand and letting them know, I'm placing my hand on your hand so they know that it's coming instead of feeling that they are being restrained. So all that, how we treat our client, how we hold space for our client, then they feel safety. They know they are here for therapy, for something like that. So they might feel it, but how we hold space for them is our job.
And there is this question which always comes up.
Was that a good answer?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's why I'm kind of like moving on, because you always bring up new stuff, which I love it, because we can keep this in a very beautiful, fluent way. The question which comes up in many therapeutic schools is, you don't want to take people back because you're re-traumatizing them. What is
True.
your opinion on that?
I don't take them back. If they go, I go with them.
Okay. But then it's kind of like, well, you kind of like, side answering the question, because it's like you can either take them back or you can let them go back and then you go with them, but they're still going back. So the idea is not who is taking who or who is going back, but it's actually the being back, which will re-traumatize the client. And that's why many therapeutic schools, they don't actually teach regression, or they don't do regression, because you might re-traumatize the client, and why put them through the same pain again when you can stay with them for 10 years in trying to help them.
But if it's an emotion that has been suppressed for so long, that has not been expressed, that has not brought to light by them, they have not embraced the reality that they are safe right here, right now, then it's a very light work. I do deep work. And it's not always, because sometimes it can be very light. It can be just plain old hypnosis and not necessarily need to do regressive or regression therapy. But I am trained. I was trained in regression therapy. I was trained in doing the Gestalt and the dialogues. That is my training. And I also know how to hold space for my client, that if and when they go through a time and a place that I see them physically going through something that it's a hindrance to their health and wellness, which has not happened in my office, I can bring them to reality, and at that very moment, awaken them to full awakeness, or ask them, or become more paternal or maternal. That is the specialty of a therapist, to know how you maneuver, how you help them, and at the entire time, how to keep them in a safe zone. I mean, there's people who do past life regression. So what is past life regression? We go to another time and a place, which we believe. I don't know if it is real or not. I myself have believed that I have done past life regression, and has helped me with understanding of why I used to have fear of being on escalators. It was the black lines. So all the way to a past life, in my mind, what the subconscious did was give me an answer that says, that's a great answer. Now I understand it.
Go with that. Yeah.
Now that was a good one. Okay. Yeah. Now I know why I was afraid. I no longer need to be afraid, because this is what happened. And then the boomerang of that, because when I was 5 years old, what happened? When I was 9 years old, what happened? By doing this, it was like, I evoked 1, 2, 3. Now I can embrace it. Now I can say I have it. Do I still need to hold on to that? No longer. I'm a grown person. I can get on escalators now. Absolutely. There is no fear of black lines anymore.
Black lines. So
black lines.
When you're talking about earlier about doing deep work. Can you describe a little bit in your own words, what would you define as deep work?
Deep work. So today, give you an example. I had a client that has been coming to me for about 4 sessions already. And from panic and anxiety, we already worked on the panic and anxiety. She feels absolutely no panic, no more anxiety, no more vertigo, no spinning. 3 sessions, great, gave great testimonial. And yet there was this underlying thing. Ah, every time she was talking, it's like that I'm not good enough kept coming up. So where is this? By having just talk therapy, not necessarily in hypnosis, just having her just close her eyes and just listen to her feelings instead of thinking. I feel, and her conversation by putting her hand on her tummy. What do you feel? And let's go back and see what other times did you feel this? It automatically began because the subconscious mind is already doing its work. I don't have to take them anywhere. The subconscious, like, the last time I felt like this was the last time I felt like this. It feels like this is similar. So that's the deeper work, all the way to her birthing her son and having a C-section. Was it good? Yeah. What happened afterwards? Oh my God, this is what happened. This is the feeling. They took everything that she had been feeling of humiliation, of every aspect that has been affecting her relationship with her husband, started at that very day, the next day of her C-section. So did I do deep work? No, she did. But I guide her, hold space for her, and she went there understanding it. That was the evoke part. Again, it was like, all this time I've been angry at him. This is where it started. And why? Because her connection with her child was not even there. She felt disconnected with the child and blaming herself all this time. Why is it that I didn't feel like that? Her husband blaming, family blaming. So she has been holding on to this blame and hurt and guilt back.
What in your experience, what did you find is most difficult for people to heal from?
Difficult to heal from.
Or I would, if I were to put this question in a different words, what is most difficult for people to let go of?
Everyone is different. We don't have to let go at all times in order for us to heal. Okay. Just by understanding it and acknowledging it and knowing it that it's there, and why I'm keeping it, or why this has been a part of me for so long. Now I know it. Now I understand it. And I still like to keep it. I don't have to let it go, is because for whatever reason, this behavior, this habit, or this is helping me, has helped me. And because nothing about us is truly there to harm us. It's just there for us. It might be construed as negative, but what is negative? We call it negative. We give it a title of it's bad for me. Yeah. And we don't let it go, or we don't make a change until it's no longer necessary. You know this, and everyone we know in our field, we know that we make a change in our life when the pain is so excruciating, so difficult that we can't stand it anymore, or the reward of what we want in life is so far greater than where we are today. And that is what I want. And I am willing to do anything to change, to become healthier, to do anything to have that.
Beautiful. I'm taking notes when I'm looking down because you say some pretty cool stuff and I love it. So when are you using the same system or the same process when working with people, or is it different, or are you like how are you working with clients? Let's put it that way.
I work with the client with what is being presented to me at that very moment. I do not have scripts. My process is my 3E method, but it can be different. It can start from the embrace. And a few weeks later, like today with my client, it became the evoke. So it all different. It's different. I don't stick to something. It's like Mickey Mouse, not Mickey Mouse. Yeah, it's Felix the cat. He had this black.
Felix the cat.
Yeah, had this black bag and opened it. And at that very moment, if I need to utilize the tool for hypnosis, I do. Gestalt, I do. Tap therapy, I do. It doesn't matter. Many different formats and techniques, timeline therapy, those are all formats of therapy. So is hypnosis. It's a tool. It's a format of therapy that we utilize. So I work with the client with what is being presented.
Beautiful, beautiful. So please, let us know more about your modus operandi. Like when you have clients, are you mostly focused on working with ladies or with men, or you don't differentiate, you don't have preferences? But how, what is the normal flow like? In all these years as a hypnotherapist, I mean, you've been going through so many phases and you've been seeing so many clients. What did you learn most by working with people over the years?
Oh my God, that is the best question. What did I learn the most?
Let's make a top 3.
No, that's a beautiful thing to ask. What I learned the most is we all want hope. Hope to feel better. We all want to have a sense of acceptance, self-acceptance, that I'm okay, that I'm not as bad, that this problem can be solved, that yes, there is hope, and can you help me? So I think hope is a huge thing. Do you believe you can help? So everyone is grasping for that hope and having a belief that if I do this one modality, this one will help and it will make a change. So in life, I think we all strive to become better, healthier, happier. That's what we want in life. Even with all the negative things we do, all the negative habits, all the trauma that we go through, our hope for life and living and having a better life, better relationships, and better self-image and pride is far greater than where we stay.
So everybody's searching for hope?
Searching inner connection, self-love, self-appreciation, self-acceptance, a healthier being.
What is the core of all suffering?
Core of suffering. Now we're going into philosophy.
No, we are going, like, I'm asking for your opinion
Yeah, that's philosophy, because I don't know what is the core of suffering, but my clientele, I can say only in the work that I have been doing all these years, and from my experience, is self-esteem, lack thereof.
Okay.
When we don't believe we matter, when we don't believe this can be better, when we don't have the self-esteem that I am good enough, that I can overcome this, the self-esteem, our inner value and worth has been distorted. And we don't think that I can have a healthier body, healthier mindset. I can overcome that addiction. I can overcome so much and move on.
So would you say then, I mean,
lack of self-worth and belief value.
No, but I mean, your answer to this question is revolving around the idea of self-esteem. So
we suffer when we don't feel good enough. We suffer that, you talked about rape. It's like, why me? Why did this happen? I am suffering because they did that to me and there was no justice. And it's not that it's self-esteem, it's realizing that as humans, there is no perfection. We all go through some kind of a trauma in our life. It's not the same as yours, but it's traumatic to me.
So by this token, would you say that people who don't have any issue with self-esteem, then they should have no problem?
No, I'm saying, you asked me what I believe is the cause. Okay. There's a lot of people who are very confident and have high expectations and high self-esteem, and they still experience trauma, they still experience pain, and they still have some addictions. But if they believe in themselves and realize that I can do this, I can overcome this, I can let that go, I can have a better relationships, I can be healthier, then they can. So no matter what I do, I help my clients feel good about themselves and know that the power is truly within themselves. I'm just an instrument that guides them, helps them, and gives them tools, techniques.
Okay. Okay, got it. So when
you're talking
about being, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm just, I have so many ideas bouncing in my head.
I know you're also becoming the devil's advocate.
No, not at all. I'm not trying to trick questioning you. Or...
It's okay. I'm all for it.
I'd rather be the, the angel's advocate rather than the devil's advocate. But you're saying, you tricked me into this chat here, and I forgot the question. I had a very good question in my head. So here's something that I came to, an idea that I've arrived to, and I'm asking your opinion on it. And the idea is that change is not so difficult to make. And the difficulty people have with change is not accepting something new, but rather letting go of something they used to have. So to go from something you used to be or do to being or doing something different, it's more difficult to let go than to acquire something. That's kind of what I'm trying to get to.
May I ask you a question? Are you also a clinical hypnotherapist?
I work with clients, yeah.
Okay. What is it that you have that you may not want to let go?
I don't know. I don't know. It's not something that comes to my mind right now.
Okay.
And I'm not dodging the question, just to be clear.
I understand, but
Yeah.
we all have something that it's like, oh my God, I can't live without it. There is no way I can let go of this. So when we say I can't let it go, that means I'm holding on to this for dear life because I'm getting something out of this. This is helping me with something.
Okay.
Right?
So there is a benefit in that, even though I
There's
get pain
always
from
a
that.
benefit. Smoking in itself is something very derogatory. It's bad for your health, yada, 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 yeah. Tell that to a smoker who does not want to stop smoking. It's like, yes, I know, but you know what? I love my cigarette. And a smoker will say this, I love smoking.
Yeah.
There is no way I can take that away from this person. They cannot let this go because the cigarette, and one of the things that I do is I say, that's fine. You don't have to let go of the cigarette, but would you be able to say that you can let go of smoking it? You can still hold on to your cigarette. So is it the cigarette or is it the smoking it? And then I break it down because smoking, I used to be a smoker. So I understand every mental connection, emotional connection, everything about the cigarette helps me with my bowel movement. The cigarette helps me when I am upset, when I am happy, when I am angry, when I am this. So it's what? Is it the cigarette? Is it this? The paper with all the embalming solutions in there, the tobacco in there, the different beautiful colors that they put it together? Or is it the filter that has the sugar, the content that when you smoke it, that yellow thing is in there? Or is it because you need to breathe better and this process makes you take in oxygen with negativity and then exhale? So can you do this breath work without this? Or do you mind if I put a piece of paper and without, I'm going to make this healthier for you, without the embalming solution, without the sugar and everything? You know what? This is what I do. This is exactly what I do with my cigarette smokers. This piece of paper, nothing in there. This is healthier for you. And I roll it, put a tape on it, and I say, would you mind smoking this? It's like, what do you mean? And I'm going, cigarette, which part? Your emotional connection we're going to work with? Or is it the cigarette with this part and this part? I'm going to make this healthier. Give you a cigarette with no embalming solution. Take all that out. Here's the paper. Please put this in your mouth. And they look at me. It's like, she's crazy. They put it in their mouth and I go, I like the paper. It's like, I'm not going to put a paper in my mouth. So I do everything for them to understand. Is it the cigarette? Is it this? And it becomes what? We're breaking down what it is that I love until they realize it's not this they love. It's the emotional connection, the mental connection, because we know that any addiction, the first 72 hours, the 3 days, the beginning of 3 days, craving goes away within 3 minutes. So if you do 3 minutes, 3 days, 33 days times 3, 99 days, by then you have already formed a new habit. So we start with 3 minutes, getting rid of cravings, 3 minute, 3 minute, 3 minute. Every 3 minutes you didn't put that in, reward yourself. And I give them tools and techniques that they feel rewarded.
Such as what would be one of the techniques
Different
that you
people,
give?
different rewards.
Okay, got it. There's
Different people, different rewards. Someone, it's like, thank you, I did that. Another person, I'll have a glass of water. It's having, I tell them, go put some grapes in the refrigerator, in the freezer, and have a bag of grapes. Every time you want to, oral fixation, the part is stop smoking. If I want to do the hypnosis, that's easy. It's the therapy part of it, understanding why they picked up the cigarette. What does the cigarette give them? That sensation, the emotional connection is the part that we do. That's when they become a full-on non-smoker.
Got it. One thing I do with clients who are coming for smoking, I ask them to tell me, like, what is the one thing, like you said yourself, like not so much what they love about smoking, but what is the one image that always comes to mind when they think about themselves smoking? It's like, what is the representative image or idea related to smoking? And some of them are so funny, it's so interesting, because some of them, it's like, I see myself, dusting off whatever you call that, like, dropping the extra burn cigarette, in the ashtray. Yeah, the ash is good. Others, they see it's like, it's taking that first puff, or puffing the smoke in the air, or so everybody, or somebody was like, taking the cigarette out of the pocket of the the package.
So what are those? Those are rituals.
Yeah, exactly. So it's so easy, it's so beautiful also to identify this, because that's exactly like you said yourself, right? If you identify that particular thing, then you can kind of like work around it, and you can discombobulate it, so to speak. You can
dismantle it.
Yeah, take it apart. Exactly. There was a client that I had who came to me for, it's so funny. She came to me for smoking. He said, I want to quit smoking tobacco, not marijuana. She was very precise. And so we worked on it. And she went back to when she was like 5 or 6 years old. And she was at home with her parents, and they were watching TV. And there was a movie with a famous actress back from the 60s or 70s. And this actress, she had the long gloves, and she was a lady with a hat and everything.
Audrey
and she
Hepburn?
had this, probably something like that. And she had this very long, port cigarette, and she was like puffing. And right there, the kid, the 5-year-old kid, said, I want to be a lady just like her.
Yeah.
So that's when the mental image, kind of got installed, and she realized that, and then she never smoked since, after that.
It's glamorous, it's sexy, it was beautiful, it's in the movies.
Yeah, and I want to be a lady, and she's a real lady. So boom, that's what I want to be, a real lady. That was so funny.
Yeah.
So when people come to you with an issue, how soon would you recommend to go from I've just met you to start working? Do you do like a long pre-talk? Do you need a few sessions to get to know the person and get into rapport, or do you just like start working right away? How do you proceed with this?
I offer a consultation to anybody who wants to first understand or know what hypnosis is and how to work with me. The initial one is a consultation. I do a 15-minute consultation, and at that time, if they have questions, if they want to share what it is that they want to come in, instead of going to the long story, I say, this is a 15-minute consultation. So I got the gist of what it is that you need. Do you have any questions for me? because this is as much as me knowing about you as you must know about me. It's finding out how I do it, what it costs about for your investment, how many sessions this may take, because I don't know, but this is what I would recommend. You come in if they want to, people who want to do therapy, have done therapy, they say, you know, I'm willing to invest so many sessions, or, you know, I've never done this. I don't know if it works. If I am going to be hypnotized, I don't know you, then come in for one session. Let's start with one session. So they book their session, they come in. I have an intake form. After the intake form, we go over the intake form. So as I'm asking or going through the intake form and asking a lot of questions, I'm also observing not only their physical reaction, their mental state, their emotional, while we're having a rapport. So all that is done on the first session. And then I say, you know what? If we are doing only a one session, we're doing hypnosis. If it is something that we are going deeper, then depending. If they are there for one session, I take them. Everyone goes into hypnosis, some for longer, others not as much, because there was too much to dig.
All right. So let me ask you this question. It's a question I ask sometimes to people who are working in hypnosis. So in your own words, what is hypnosis?
Oh, a beautiful state of mind.
Well, so is love, and so is reverie, and so is...
It's a state. It's another state of being. I go in and out of hypnosis when I want to. I used to do hypnosis all the time, self-hypnosis. I've done all my dental work, self-hypnosis with no need for Novocaine or anesthesia or any of that.
Wow.
I've done root canals. I've done 6 root canals with absolutely no needle, no Novocaine, no anesthesia. So yeah, medicine does not go in my body, but that's my choice.
Yeah, that is super awesome. And a lot of people are, you know, practicing hypnosis or preaching hypnosis, teaching hypnosis, but not so many are using self-hypnosis, like for instance yourself, you know, to combat, maybe combat is not a good word, but to protect themselves from the unpleasant sensations.
Ooh, protect myself. I never thought of me as protecting.
All right. Well, I didn't know how to put it, so I tried to sound smart.
That's a great thing. It's not. It's just a choice. I choose not to have. But if the pain gets to a point, I used to, but I stopped smoking through hypnosis, self-hypnosis. I overcome pain with self-hypnosis. I've done eyelid surgery that it was done, that I stopped the bleeding, self-hypnosis, dental work, root canal, self-hypnosis. And it's not to protect myself. It's just, I guess, yeah, to see my own power, knowing that I have the tools and the techniques that I can do this. And if I can do it, a lot other people can do. As a matter of fact, our president for ACHE, Dr. John Butler, he did a self-hypnosis in UK, and he did hernia surgery, and everything was in hypnosis only. And it was, we've done knee surgery, hip replacements, C-section, so much can be done in hypnosis. Hypnosis is a natural anesthesia.
I actually show his video in my hypnosis classes. when we talk about self-hypnosis or when we talk about pain management, then I always show his video because it's so inspiring.
It is inspiring, and yet I want to also let you and your audience know that Dr. John Butler, for years before he even started doing the hypnosis, he has mastered the art of mindfulness and mind control, self.
Mm-hmm.
So for years he would go, I mean, for times he would just go into a time and a place that he would just stay solid, mind over matter, not eating, drinking, and just being. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not that we can do 5 sessions of hypnosis and go and do hernia surgery. It takes massive experience and work on yourself, but it can be done. Not but
So
yet.
so when what kind of suggestions do you give yourself when you went for your root canal, for your self-hypnosis?
Well, I asked for 3 minutes or 5 minutes right before. I used to. Now it can be like in 2 minutes. I just sit there and I just give me some time, 5 minutes. So what I do is I do self-hypnosis in numbing my gums, that I am numbing my gum, and I know where it is going, the dental procedure is going to be. So, and when I tap onto it, I feel it, but there is no pain. So, and then I become very acutely one with the sound of the drill, the water pick, the air. So as it is hitting, as I hear it, even the drill as they're going, it's like, I know everything by knowing different variations of the sound. There is nothing different happening. So consciously, subconsciously, physically, mentally, emotionally, I am so ready. Plus, I used to be a dental assistant, so I know what they are doing. I know the procedure, everything that is happening. And the entire time, this is what is being said to myself. I am safe.
Yeah.
I am safe. It's just the dental work. I am safe in my seat. I am safe in my body. I am safe in my mouth. Everything. I trust the doctor, and then I'm gone. It's as if being a drone looking from above, and I'm like, yeah, this is what he's doing now. Yeah, he's doing this now. Oh, you're safe. This is what it's happening. Done.
Nice.
Plus,
and
I am more aware and sensitive to what's going on.
Awesome.
I
How
feel
long
it.
did it take? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I feel it, but I don't feel pain. I feel everything they do.
So I was going to ask, how long did it take you to get to the point where you could have a root canal and not be, in pain by it? Like, did you start small and build up from it, or did you like go right away, to that thing?
The first time I did it, it was probably about 12 years ago, 13 years ago, that I did it for just a regular cavity. It was deep cavity. And then I used it then because I didn't like the feeling of the topical that put. I didn't like my mouth getting all so I said, I don't want that. And then they would put the needle, and the next thing I'm like, I don't want the needle. I just don't like the feeling of it. And by saying no to that, I had to come up with what is it that I can do, and that's where I started doing it. So after that one, for the last 13 years, I have not used any Novocaine or any anesthesia in my body.
Amazing, beautiful. Liza, all good things come to an end. Sadly, we would have to we would have to stop this presentation now. But let me ask you, where can people get in touch with you? How can they learn more from you and what you're doing, and maybe get to learn from you directly?
By all means, I also do hypno coaching. So anytime that you wish, you can contact me at healwithin.com or email me right there. The contacts is right there. And I'll be more than happy to give a gift to anyone who is watching. If you text, if you are anywhere that you can text 818-221-2797, just text the word relax. I'll be more than happy to gift you a half an hour audio recording of relax and unwind with my voice.
Beautiful. I mean, you would be mad not to do that. So everyone,
It's a
now
free
you know
gift.
it. Yeah, beautiful. And we appreciate it. And I'm very happy for you to do so. So everybody, you know where to find Liza. You go and find, it's very simple. It's her name. And then, of course, healwithin.com, her website. Yeah, let's take a quick break and we'll see you after the break or see you tomorrow. Depends which comes first. So let's take a quick break, like I said, and make sure to share with us your notes, your ideas, the key takeaways you got from this presentation, what you like best, what was new, what was surprising. Share your thoughts and ideas with us in the Facebook group, and we'll see you soon.